Someone asks you a simple question. It sounds innocent, maybe a quick check-in about last week, but hours later, you can't shake the feeling that you did something wrong. That lingering doubt is a calculated technique designed to take root. Welcome to my YouTube channel, My Prithviraj, Aapka Swagat Karta Hu. We often associate psychological manipulation with distant cults or high-stakes cons, but these tactics operate quietly in everyday relationships, our office meetings, and across our digital screens. These techniques function by weaponizing the standard wiring of the human brain. They exploit our natural empathy, our willingness to trust, and our inherent need for connection, turning our most basic social defaults against us. In this first episode, we are going to expose exactly how this control is manufactured. By breaking down the specific mechanics of these behaviors, we can build the psychological firewalls necessary to disarm them, transforming you from a vulnerable target into an educated observer. To defend yourself, you must know the opponent. Psychologists use the term dark triad to describe those most likely to use manipulation. First is narcissism, driven by an intense craving for admiration. Second is Machiavellianism, characterized by cold, calculated deceit. Third is psychopathy, marked by impulsivity and a lack of empathy. At their intersecting center is a shared tendency to exploit people. The core motivation remains the same, using others for personal gain. These are not monsters hiding in the shadows. They are ordinary-seeming people operating on predictable and therefore recognizable psychological frameworks. One of the most effective attacks is gaslighting. Gaslighting is the systematic rewriting of your reality, designed to create intense self-doubt. It happens through a steady drip of denials, telling you a conversation never happened, or insisting a cruel joke was just harmless fun. By constantly shifting the blame, they fracture your confidence until you question your own memories. Your natural reflex is to argue back, to try and prove what really happened. But that emotional response gives the manipulator exactly what they want, a chance to label you as sensitive or confused, which further reinforces their control. The firewall against gaslighting requires stepping back. Instead of arguing, recognize the pattern of denial, calmly disengage from the conversation, and physically remove yourself from the space. Once you have that distance, you can initiate the active countermeasure, collecting hard evidence. Start taking screenshots of texts, saving important emails, and quietly writing down dates and exact quotes from conversations. Gaslighting relies entirely on psychological isolation. By building a private, indisputable record of the truth, you strip the manipulator of their power to dictate your reality. Manipulators also thrive on narcissistic supply. They actively provoke drama, induce guilt, or spark anger because they crave the attention and sense of control those emotional reactions provide. When they launch an unfair accusation, you feel compelled to defend yourself. But every time you show distress or try to explain your side, you are providing positive reinforcement for their toxic behavior. To break this cycle, you can use a tactical countermeasure known as the gray rock method. This strategy involves making yourself as uninteresting and unresponsive as a literal gray rock. You offer only flat, short answers. You avoid eye contact. You starve the manipulator of the emotional fuel they are fishing for. Gray rocking requires you to suppress your own emotions, which can be mentally taxing over time. Because of this, it is best used as a short-term survival tactic for unavoidable interactions rather than a permanent lifestyle. By completely removing the emotional fuel from the interaction, you break the manipulator's engine. It proves that the most effective defense is often a highly disciplined refusal to react. Influence is a normal part of life. We persuade, bargain, and nudge every day. But dark psychology hides its intentions and strips that influence of transparency, making it impossible to see the goal of the interaction. This lack of transparency is what removes your autonomy. While a healthy interaction respects your agency and leaves you with a genuine, uncoerced choice, manipulation functions by removing that choice entirely. There is often a strong urge to learn these tactics simply to out-manipulate a toxic person, but adopting their tools only pulls you deeper into their world and erodes your own boundaries. Protection starts with recognizing the board early and refusing to play. The ultimate defense is refusing to engage with the game at all. Building these psychological firewalls is a lifelong discipline, and today we have only just scratched the surface of the manipulator's playbook. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will meet you in next part. Jai Hind.